The sea has always spoken in whispers, carrying secrets on every shifting wave that touches the shore. Legends say the ocean holds more than salt and tide. It carries memory older than the stars themselves. Among these mysteries lies a throne, not carved in stone, but shaped by the eternal rhythm of water. They call it the throne of Poseidon, a seat not of conquest, but of balance between calm and storm. To find it, one must listen not with ears, but with the heart, attuned to the song hidden in the tide. This story begins not with a clash of gods, but with a dream carried by a single wandering soul. The dream is soft, yet insistent, like a current pulling steadily toward an unseen horizon. Voices echo from beneath the waves, guiding the listener deeper into a world unseen by mortal eyes. The throne waits in silence, beyond coral kingdoms and shimmering walls of light in the abyss. Tonight, we follow the journey of discovery, a tale of ocean whispers and the eternal wave of Poseidon. They say the sea does not speak in thunder, but in whispers, a language carried by the rhythm of the tide. Each wave is a sentence, each ripple a fragment of thought, drifting from a place beyond mortal reach. On quiet nights, when the moon is silver and the wind is still, the ocean reveals its oldest voice. It is not a voice of command nor of anger, but of memory, deep and endless like the abyss below. Fishermen claim to hear it when nets drift empty. Scholars claim it stirs within their dreams at dawn. The truth is simpler. The tide carries a message to all, though few pause long enough to listen. The whisper is subtle, like the brush of foam against bare feet, vanishing as quickly as it arrives. But to those who linger, the sea tells of hidden thrones, coral gates, and eternal guardians of the deep. It speaks of Poseidon, not in fury, but in balance, guiding both calm waters and the storm's embrace. The throne of Poseidon, they say, is not built of gold or stone, but woven from the eternal wave. It is a seat shaped by patience, trust, and the rhythm of creation itself, unseen by human eyes. Those who hear the whisper know it calls not for conquest, but for harmony, a bond with the ocean. The tale begins with a wanderer, drawn not by maps or crowns, but by the soft pull of the tide. He lingers at the edge of the shore, listening, waiting, feeling the hush of waves beneath the stars. The whisper grows stronger, threading into his heart, until silence itself feels full of the sea's song. He does not seek riches or glory, for such things fade, but he longs to understand the ocean's truth. The tide responds in kind, shaping a path invisible to others, marked only by the language of waves. A story begins not with thunder, but with stillness, not with power, but with listening. The wanderer steps forward, carrying nothing but a heart open to the mystery of the eternal wave. And so the first lesson of the sea unfolds, that even the smallest ripple can carry the voice of gods. Beneath the surface of the ocean lies a kingdom that no map has ever drawn and no compass can find. It is a realm untouched by time, where light bends into colors unseen, painting shadows on living stone. Coral rises like towers, glowing faintly as if they remember the songs of dawn when the sea was born. Fish shimmer like drifting jewels, weaving through arches of pearl that stand older than the mountains above. The current moves like a gentle hand, shaping paths that twist deeper into the blue, guiding those who listen. In this hidden world, there is no crown of iron, no fortress of war, only harmony sculpted by the tide. Here, silence is not empty, but alive, filled with the pulse of water and the breath of unseen creatures. Legends call this place the threshold of Poseidon, where the throne of the eternal wave quietly rests. The throne is not a monument, but a living force, its form shifting like liquid light upon the sea floor. One moment it seems like a seat of crystal, another like a whirlpool folding endlessly into itself. It is said the throne appears only to those who carry patience in their hearts and respect in their gaze. The ocean reveals itself not through demand, but through trust, asking nothing but a willingness to listen. Tales tell of dolphins circling its gates, not as guards, but as companions, singing hymns of welcome. Turtles drift like slow-moving stars, their shells etched with markings of tides older than human memory. Every stone hums with a vibration, like the ocean's heartbeat resonating from the center of the abyss. The wanderer, still guided by whispers, feels this kingdom pressing gently upon his soul like a dream. He sees not fear, but wonder, not power, but peace, and the ocean seems to breathe through his own lungs. It is here he understands the sea is not chaos, not wrath, but a vast balance between calm and storm. The hidden kingdom does not belong to Poseidon alone, but to every wave, every creature, every song. And in the stillness of that truth, the shimmer of the eternal throne glows faintly in the distance. The ocean's call is not a sound, but a presence, a steady pulse that lives in the heart of a dreamer. This dreamer is no king nor sailor, only a soul restless beneath the weight of ordinary days. He walks the shore at dusk, his feet sinking in wet sand, his eyes lost in the shifting horizon. Each evening feels the same, until one night. The tide hums with a melody he cannot ignore. It is a song without words, yet it shapes visions. Shimmering palaces, coral gates, and a throne of light. The dreamer pauses, heart racing, as if the sea itself has reached out with invisible hands. He feels not fear, but recognition, as though this song has been waiting for him since birth. Sleep comes, and in dreams he sees dolphins circling, guiding him across waters that never end. Stars above tilt their light downward, aligning in patterns that seem to point toward the deep. The dreamer wakes, and though the sun rises bright, the melody lingers, soft as foam on the shore. He carries it through the day, a secret rhythm pulsing in every step, reminding him of the sea. Others see only his silence, his gaze drawn outward, yet they cannot hear the voice that holds him. Night returns, and once more the ocean sings, wrapping his heart with the promise of hidden realms. He knows then his path will not be chosen by maps, nor guided by human wisdom. It will be written by currents, by constellations, and by faith in what cannot be seen. He begins to prepare, not with gold nor with weapons, but with patience in a vessel of wood. The tide seems to wait for him, pulling gently, whispering that the journey has already begun. And as the moon climbs high, the dreamer feels certain. The ocean has called, and he must answer. For within that call lies not conquest, but understanding, not power, but harmony. And so the dreamer steps closer to the eternal wave, where Poseidon's throne quietly awaits. The vessel is small, carved from wood, yet it floats with purpose, as if it understands the dreamer's intent. The dreamer sets sail at dawn, guided not by compass, but by the memory of the ocean's whispered song. Waves rise and fall like breath, each one carrying him farther from the land and closer to the unknown. Above, the sky stretches vast and blue, the sun painting the water in streaks of gold and silver. At night, the stars ignite, shimmering patterns that align with the rhythm of the tide below. He reads them not as maps, but as companions, their light bending toward horizons unseen by mortal eyes. The journey is quiet, yet alive, filled with dolphins leaping near the bow as if urging him onward. They circle, singing in tones that echo like bells, weaving music into the rush of the current. The wind shifts softly, carrying voices, sometimes like laughter, sometimes like prayers murmured by the sea. The dreamer listens, each note stirring courage, each whisper reminding him he is not alone. Days pass and the ocean changes color, from bright turquoise to endless indigo, deep as mystery itself. Flying fish scatter like sparks across the surface, their bodies catching the sunlight like fleeting silver flames. At dawn, he sees turtles drifting with the tide, their shells marked with ancient lines of time. The dreamer feels them as guides, steady and calm, reminding him to move not in haste, but with trust. He learns the ocean does not demand speed, only faith, and the patience to follow its hidden path. Storm clouds gather once, their shadows vast. But the sea does not rage, it only tests his heart. He holds steady, letting the vessel rock, his spirit anchored by the song that led him here. When the sky clears, the horizon glows brighter, as if the sea itself rewards his unwavering belief. The dreamer knows he is being carried, not lost, for every wave feels shaped by unseen hands. And so the journey across waters becomes not a voyage of distance, but a pilgrimage of the soul. The horizon shifts, and before the dreamer appears a vast whirlpool glowing with threads of silver light. It does not rage or pull with violence, but turns gently, like a doorway woven into the living sea. The vessel drifts closer, rocking with the rhythm of the spiral, as if the ocean itself is guiding him. The air hums with a low vibration, the sound of currents folding upon themselves in eternal motion. Legends call this place the Gate of Currents, the passage every seeker must face before entering the deep. The dreamer feels his heart quicken, for no chart or tale had prepared him for this endless circle of water. Yet the whisper within his chest grows steady, reminding him that fear is but silence waiting to be heard. He understands now that this gate is not meant to trap, but to test the courage of surrender. The vessel trembles on the edge of the spiral, caught between safety of retreat and mystery ahead. He closes his eyes, breathing slow, and allows the current to take hold without struggle or command. The whirlpool lifts him, not downward but inward, folding him into a tunnel of light and flowing song. Colors dance in liquid shapes around him, waves bending like ribbons that shimmer in endless hues. It feels less like falling and more like floating through a dream, carried by the hands of the ocean. The sound of rushing water becomes music, chords of harmony stretching into infinity. In that moment, he understands the sea does not demand force, only trust, only surrender to its rhythm. The vessel drifts through the spiral, and the dreamer feels lighter, as if burdens have been left behind. He sees visions of past voyagers, faces unknown yet familiar, each one carried through the same gate. Some whisper blessings, some sing, all reminding him he is part of a lineage of seekers of balance. When at last the whirlpool widens, light spills outward, revealing a calm sea untouched by storm. The dreamer emerges, unchanged in body but transformed in soul, welcomed by the silence beyond the gate. The Gate of Currents has opened, and the journey into Poseidon's hidden realm has truly begun. The sea beyond the gate is quiet, its surface smooth as glass, carrying the vessel into a hush of wonder. The dreamer drifts slowly, watching the water glow faintly beneath, as if stars have sunk into the deep. Soon the current draws him toward an opening, a cavern formed of coral rising like a cathedral of light. The entrance shimmers, and within, echoes ring soft and endless, like voices folded into the walls. It is the chamber of choral echoes, a place where the sea itself remembers and speaks through sound. The dreamer steps ashore within the chamber, feeling the floor of coral pulse gently beneath his feet. Every sound he makes multiplies, carrying deeper until even a breath returns as a chorus of whispers. He listens, and the echoes grow clearer, shaping words not of language, but of meaning his heart understands. One voice speaks of patience, telling him the ocean rewards not haste, but those who learn to wait. Another voice murmurs resilience, reminding him waves break but always rise again, endless and unbroken. A third whisper hums of humility, teaching him that the vast sea holds all, and no soul may claim it. The chamber glows brighter with every echo, as if the coral itself awakens with the dreamer's attention. He realizes these voices are not separate, but parts of one great song, the memory of the ocean's soul. Kneeling, he places his hand upon the coral, and the chamber responds with a gentle vibration. Visions appear, tides flowing through centuries, storms fading into calm, creatures rising and returning. He feels the history of water, the rhythm of time carried in every wave that touches the shore. The lesson is clear. Power lies not in force, but in harmony, not in control, but in balance. The dreamer breathes deeply, his heart resonating with the chamber's song, as if tuned by the sea. The echoes fade slowly, leaving a silence that feels full, as though the ocean itself is listening back. With reverence, he steps once more toward his vessel, carrying the wisdom of coral in his soul. The chamber of coral echoes closes behind him, its light dimming, but its song remains within his heart. The vessel glides forward, drawn now by streams of silver light, weaving patterns upon the sea. The dreamer follows, his heart steady, carrying the whispers of coral as a compass within his soul. The waters grow warmer, glowing with hues of sapphire and emerald, alive with unseen energy below. Ahead lies an isle of crystal sand, where waves curl gently, singing a song soft yet endless in tone. This is the Isle of Tides, a place where the ocean gathers its secrets and weaves them into living rhythm. Stepping ashore, the dreamer feels the ground shifting, as if breathing in time with the rolling waves. Each tide washes across the shore, leaving shapes in the sand that shimmer and vanish like fleeting thoughts. He kneels to watch and realizes each pattern is a story, etched by the sea and swept away again. One tide shows a vision of growth, a seedling rising with care, watered by patience and steady rain. The next tide shows loss, a castle of sand crumbling, reminding him all things change and nothing clings. Another tide brings joy, children laughing by the shore, their echoes carried far across the horizon. The dreamer understands the tides are storytellers, carrying lessons in their endless rise and fall. He listens, and the ocean speaks through rhythm. Everything flows, everything returns, nothing is wasted. The waves rise higher now, surrounding him in a circle, like guardians keeping him safe within their song. Their spray glimmers in sunlight, forming arcs of light that bend into shapes resembling crowns and circles. He reaches out and feels the spray cool against his skin, each drop carrying meaning, each ripple alive. The isle itself hums softly, as if it too joins in, a harmony of land and water beneath the sky. The dreamer learns that balance is not silence, but motion, not stillness, but the harmony of change. The waves draw back gently, and the sand is smooth once more, as if no story had ever been told. Yet in his heart, he carries the rhythm, a song of tides that never cease, guiding him toward destiny. He bows to the sea, grateful for its wisdom, and returns to his vessel with calm steps and clear vision. The Isle of Tides fades behind him, its stories dissolving, yet their meaning living on within his soul. The vessel sails onward, and the sea grows darker, not with storm, but with depth beyond measure. The dreamer feels the current slow, pulling him gently toward a realm hidden beneath the horizon. Ahead, a circle of water opens, revealing a descent into glowing sapphire paths deep under the waves. He follows, unafraid, as his vessel drifts downward, carried by streams of light that twist like ribbons. Beneath lies the Abyssal Garden, a place where silence is alive and shadows bloom with radiant beauty. The dreamer steps onto a seabed of black stone where luminous plants sway as though breathing in rhythm. Each plant glows with colors unseen, their light forming patterns that resemble constellations in the deep. Schools of silverfish move gracefully, weaving through the glow as if painting strokes across the dark. The dreamer walks slowly, watching petals of coral open, releasing bubbles that hum with gentle sound. In the silence, he feels peace, realizing the abyss is not empty, but full of quiet creation and calm. The garden whispers through its stillness, teaching him that beauty thrives not only in light, but in shadow. He kneels beside a glowing flower, placing his hand above it, and it opens wider, shining brighter. Visions spill into his mind, the ocean's depths sheltering life, nurturing secrets unseen by surface eyes. He learns that strength is not always loud, that true resilience grows in silence, steady and unseen. The dreamer rises and continues deeper, the garden unfolding into vast fields of luminous bloom. Every step echoes softly, the abyss humming back as if recognizing him as a guest within its realm. He sees great arches of coral rising like gateways, their edges glowing with silver strands of light. Crossing beneath one, he feels a wave of calm, as though his soul has been washed free of heaviness. The lesson of the abyss is clear. Darkness is not the end, but a cradle where hidden wonders grow. With gratitude, he bows, his heart calm, his steps steady, his spirit stronger for what he has seen. The abyssal garden fades behind him, yet its silence remains, a quiet song within his heart's core. The vessel rises slowly, lifted by currents, carrying him once more toward the next horizon of discovery. The vessel drifts onward, rising from the abyss, its path lit now by a horizon of radiant gold. The dreamer steadies himself, sensing a presence ahead, vast and ancient, woven into the sea itself. The waters ripple gently, parting in arcs, and before him rises a temple sculpted entirely from flowing waves. It stands not of stone, but of liquid light. Columns spiraling upward, crowned with crests that never fall. This is the Temple of Currents, where all rivers of the ocean's wisdom converge and weave into eternity. The dreamer approaches, and the surface beneath his vessel shifts, forming a bridge that leads him inside. Within, the temple glows with movement, walls of water flowing in harmony, each ripple carrying a story. The currents twist into shapes, whales leaping, rivers meeting seas, storms fading into calm, all in rhythm. He walks slowly, every step met with flowing voices, soft and clear, like rivers speaking in one tongue. They tell him that currents are not chains, but pathways, guiding all things to where they must belong. One current shows him kindness, flowing gently to carry the smallest fish safely through rocky passage. Another shows him courage, surging strong against obstacles, teaching that strength protects, not destroys. A third current whispers unity, merging streams together, showing that harmony thrives in connection. The dreamer listens deeply, feeling each lesson carve itself into his soul like rivers shaping the land. At the temple's heart stands a great vortex, spinning slow and steady, its pull both calm and endless. He steps closer, and the vortex reveals visions. Rivers joining seas, tears joining laughter, lives intertwining. He realizes the ocean is a web of currents, each life a drop, each story flowing into something greater. The temple hums with approval, waves rising higher, casting shimmering crowns above his bowed head. The dreamer bows deeply, his voice silent but his heart speaking gratitude for the wisdom received. The vortex grows brighter, and from it a path of liquid light forms, leading him back toward his vessel. He follows with reverence, carrying the truth that no soul journeys alone. All are borne by shared streams. As he departs, the temple of currents dissolves slowly, its form folding back into the living sea. The waters close, leaving only gentle ripples, yet the dreamer knows its wisdom will flow within forever. The vessel drifts into a vast calm, where the sea and sky blur together, endless and without horizon. The dreamer stands still, his heart quiet, sensing that his journey nears a truth long waiting for him. The waters glow softly, forming spirals of light that rise and circle, like guardians preparing a throne. In the center emerges a grand seat of waves, shaped by tide and foam, crowned by the eternal wave itself. It is the throne of Poseidon, not carved from stone, but from the living ocean, forever shifting yet whole. The dreamer approaches with reverence, feeling the pulse of the sea thrumming through his every step. The throne speaks not in words, but in presence, vast and deep, carrying the weight of all the waters. He realizes it is not a place of power to command, but of harmony, to listen, to guide, to protect. Visions surround him, rivers flowing into seas, storms balanced by calm, all bound by the throne's song. The dreamer bows low, offering himself not as master, but as servant to the eternal balance of tides. The sea responds, waves rising high, then folding gently, as though embracing him in solemn acceptance. A crown of water forms above his head, glimmering with starlight, before dissolving back into the sea. The lesson is clear. The throne belongs not to one soul, but to all who honor the rhythm of the ocean. The dreamer feels his heart expand, carrying within it the unity of currents, tides, silence, and song. He sits for but a moment, and the ocean swells around him, calm yet powerful, endless yet tender. The throne hums, and for the first time, he feels the sea breathe with him, as if they are one. Yet the seat does not bind him, for it is not meant to hold, but to remind of duty carried forward. The dreamer rises, knowing his journey is not to end here, but to carry the throne's truth beyond. The throne of Poseidon fades slowly into waves, leaving only ripples shining like silver under the sun. He returns to his vessel, his spirit steady, bearing the eternal wisdom that power is harmony, not rule. The sea grows calm once more, guiding him onward as the eternal wave whispers. His journey continues. The vessel drifts onward, the sea calm, as though the ocean itself exhales after a long, timeless song. The dreamer stands at the bow, his heart carrying every echo, tide, silence, and vision he has received. He remembers the choral voices, the lessons of patience, resilience, and humility whispered within the depths. He recalls the Isle of Tides, where stories rose and fell, teaching that change is not loss, but renewal. He carries the silence of the Abyssal Garden, where hidden strength thrived in quiet, unseen resilience. He feels the flow of the Temple of Currents, where kindness, courage, and unity merged like rivers into sea. And he recalls the throne of Poseidon, not as power to command, but as harmony to guide and to serve. Each step of his journey has not ended but joined, flowing together like streams into an endless ocean. The horizon glows softly now, neither dawn nor dusk, but an eternal light woven with peace and continuity. The dreamer realizes his voyage is not to claim, but to carry forward the wisdom the sea entrusted to him. He bows to the ocean, not in farewell, but in gratitude, for the journey itself has become his treasure. The vessel rocks gently, as if the sea nods back, acknowledging him as part of its unending rhythm. He understands the throne is not a destination, but a reminder that the true crown is balance and care. The waters stretch open, endless and inviting, whispering that all souls sail within one eternal wave. He feels no fear, only calm, for he knows he is never alone, carried always by the harmony of the sea. The ocean sings softly, a lullaby of tides, its melody blending with the steady beat of his own heart. He closes his eyes for a moment, listening, and the sea within him answers, steady and eternal. The vessel sails onward, guided not by compass, but by the truth etched deeply in his spirit's course. Every ripple ahead is a story waiting, every tide a lesson, every horizon a promise of discovery. And so the dreamer journeys on, bearing the throne's song, forever part of the eternal wave.